Oh, brother, what are we about to get ourselves into? There's a couple routes we can go. I'm leaning strongly, as I was at the end of the last episode, on the fact that FRIEREN, the clone version of herself, has not been defeated, and they kind of just baited us and tried to cliffhanger us on the fact that that would be the case and things would be all, set and done from there. And I'd argue that that's probably not the case. Now, we can take it the route where we can say that is what happens, but there's plenty of others within this dungeon that we're going to have to come and cross paths with, or will kind of just come to us at this point that we don't have plans for, and then it'll make things fun. But I'd argue that the FRIEREN one is still kind of lurking, and that the attack that we set off here did not actually work in the exact way that was expected almost, which gets me a little. I'm not nervous, so I won't say it gets me nervous, but it leaves me wondering how we're going to approach this now. Are we going to go all out? Are they going to have to really pull some stuff out that we hadn't seen and allow them to really reach new heights? This is like Fern and Freer and stuff from what we've been able to see, or a group of us all come together and be able to work, or I don't know what it is. I really don't know the direction I guess they can come, and that's where I guess like my excitement is really coming from. Is I feel like it's obvious that she's probably still around, but at the same time, where are we going to direct it from that point on? So I don't know. Very excited. If you like it all, like and subscribe to me. Lots of me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave your comments with this specific series of the Toho animation show. They always end up blocking these, so what we are doing is keeping the audio for the anime itself muted throughout the entirety of this reaction. If you still want to watch it with audio, check the link in the description. I posted there, so you guys have the option of doing whatever you desire. Let's get going though with episode 26. I'm gonna be really mad if that isn't the case and the FRIEREN replica is still around and it's actually FRIEREN who ends up somehow taking herself out. I'm gonna be kind of mad because I went into like 15 minutes of discussion about like the fact of like humans being able to overtake things all of last episode. So now I'll be upset if we don't go that way. The height of magic. Oh, I love the coloring. Okay. Oh, we're just gonna go. Oh, we are not messing around. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Hold on. I love that look on her face. Wow. It's fun. The magic and the effects and everything that we use, because they're so different than a lot of other shows that contain it. Mmm. Let's go. Oh, damn it. It's lurking. I love how they're together no matter what. Hmm. We must. Yep. In the perfect order. Hmm. And as long as you choose the right pairings along the way. Anyone like him who's a complete menace, you need many for. I love montaging through all of this as we overlay some discussion about how we coordinated this. Wow. Hmm. Which she's there, so ability to fully conceal herself probably, and we can't detect Fern, I'd assume, at the same time for similar reasons. Mm-hmm. So you guys need to be on this. Oh, yeah. Thinking as well. Okay. Nice. Yo, good teamwork, guys. Yeah. Just what we were warned about. Oh no. Yeah. She's just different, dude. No. We're really ramping things up. Damn. That sucks. Okay, well, that's two people I was fully not expecting to lose here. So I'm loving that. Come on, Duncan, please don't fail. I've been rooting for you. Oh, here we go. Finally, y'all showing up. It's times like this I wish I was a really short person so she could look down on me like that. Is that is that a bad thought to have? Maybe. Hmm. All right, let's go. That's because of the matchup. It's different here. Yeah. Why do you think that? Hmm. Cut through all that damn hair. Hmm. Gotcha. No, 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 no. To me, it's just hair. Yeah. To me, I can just go through it. And if I can cut any part of their body, I mean, I can cut that. Hmm. When she killed the other mage. Yeah. We witnessed her just. I'm really enjoying the idea that matchups make everything, as to opposed to just this person's stronger, this person's stronger. Except she just fucking went right through him, I bet. Because in her mind, all she had to do is just go through a cloak, right? And that's easy. Ugh. Yep. Yeah, wow. I love that. And her. What did I do wrong? I beat the test. And how? You really want to know? Ah, yes, crazy green girl holding scissors. There's a sister? Oh my god. Hmm. And it's nice and easy, isn't it? Hmm. So, if that's the case, I got you. Yeah, a little bit. But it's actually a really cool ability. Hmm. Maybe for you. Wow. But she doesn't view it as like a impenetrable cloak with a magical defense. She doesn't view it that way. That's just a cloak to her. To her, it's literally just cloth. Like, hmm, I choose to trust myself as opposed to the established things already. Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, we've known that from the start. She's not like the others. That's why we like her so much. I would love to cut it someday. Are we gonna cut her hair for her? Yeah, she's been dreaming of this. I love that so much. Wow. Hmm. It's her ability, you know. Hmm. Hmm. You have that strong a detection. My God. Hmm. Awesome. It's not as simple. We don't know where they are. Oh, okay. Who would be a matchup for Fern, I wonder? I guess they would have to have an ability or something I'm not. Okay, you got it? Alright. Oh, not again. Who was behind them? There was somebody behind Denkin, right? Yeah. Oh boy. Didn't we just Oh, so they come back alive. Okay. Oh boy. What are you gonna do? Where's the water at for you? Oh, here she is. She knows. I'm back here. There's so much going on. So many fights I want to watch. I love the shot that they're holding. Should trust you. Mm. Dude, the coloring's so good. Mm. Yeah, just put some faith in you. Mm. So the goal is create opening in yourself. Other one wants to take advantage of that, causing opening being created through them because they can't rely on defending themselves. And FRIEREN will defend herself to another level. Oh my god, the music, everything's so. First time we're gonna really see her take damage there too. Wow, nonstop. It's not enough though, is it? Yeah. Oh shit, dude. She's not even holding it. Mm, well done. Well done. Was not easy. Mm, guess we know when the last time she used it was then. Let's see if it's really what they all put it up to be. Oh, it was. Wow. Damn, we really only lost two. Not again. And he's carrying her again. And he's floating the other guy again. All this treasure is ours, however. The association will claim it. This one was gold, though. You can't even blame her for trying. Let's go. Mmm. Wow, that's pretty cool. My God, this is so good. Like, so good. We gotta give it some time, but I'm thinking it's not my favorite episode overall, but it might be the one I felt most impressed by. I think either that or episode 9, and it would have to it would have to be one of those just by like pure animation through due to the battles and everything that we got within it. It would have to be one of those two, and each of them are very different, and I think the approach that they both attempted to take that makes it a little bit difficult to be like, oh, this one's like particularly better, or this one or that one. But there's certain things I think were very stand out in comparison with this one, in comparison to the other episode. But there's other things that I think I liked a little more about the other one than I did this one. So they each have their trade offs, and I don't think it really matters. You just need to know that both of them are pure 10 out of 10 episodes. So there's nothing really to miss on there. What I really like is just the different elements that we got into. We got into so much. We proposed so much, and things that maybe other people have thought of, but never really crossed my mind, about possibilities of the direction that we can kind of take things, in the way that we are really setting the world of magic in a way to be kind of brought up to be up to this point, in the way that certain people just aren't more powerful just because they are more powerful, and how certain things like matchups can kind of make everything. And it's a thing that you hear a lot. It's a similar thing, like if anybody watches any sort of like professional fighting in any sort of way, it's a styles of the fighters make the matchup, right? That's what makes things the most interesting. It's the same thing with, like, I guess even sports in a way, right? Certain teams being able to excel at being able to defend or do certain sort of things in comparison to what other teams are good at, causing the style clashes to make that matchup really enticing, because something can go really good because somebody has a weakness in this area, but somebody else is very good at this and defending what the other person's really strong at or something, and it causes these clashes which make things extremely difficult, which is why, like, the comparison of a rock paper scissors makes so much sense, and it's such a good use of that. While I did say it's like a lot more complex, because it absolutely is, it's similar to, you can have a lot of trade-offs with things where multiple people might throw out rock at the same time, but each person will have that one winning and that one blow that kind of allows them to go over somebody else at the end of the day. And while you can kind of take it as somebody else, you put three parties in, each one could be excelling at something else entirely, and could be useful in comparison to anybody else. It's so cool the way that we kind of want to approach that. We don't want to make somebody like FRIEREN, as we started the entire arc out basically talking about how she's lost a certain amount of times before, and everything doesn't just come down to mana, and it doesn't just come down to whatever else is kind of involved. It just, like, there's so much we can kind of build up as a result. It just makes me so excited to see future things that come in, because it doesn't allow you to sit down and kind of get so absorbed in the fact that somebody like FRIEREN will just go out of her way and defeat absolutely everybody. Which I think is really, really cool. Also pissed me off, because what did I say at the beginning? How I'm going to be mad if I spend 20 minutes last episode talking about the idea of a human being the one who ends up defeating FRIEREN due to what Sense ended up telling her. And here we are in the situation, and FRIEREN's the one who defeats herself. So that kind of pisses me off. I'm not very happy about that. Well, there's two people each who have to work together. So due to, like, interference and help through a human distracting and being able to work with FRIEREN to ultimately be able to overcome this. But maybe that in itself means something. The idea that Sense has kind of built up over all these years of what exactly it means, or what exactly is going to happen, and the things that she's kind of been so wary of and trying to almost fight against or preach for is going to end up happening at some point, and wanting to constantly continue to develop and restricting the people who are capable or involved with learning magic and keeping it to be so special, so we can kind of avoid things like that actually happening. We put ourselves in a position here where maybe that isn't even the case. Maybe she's been kind of under that belief her entire time, and that's the thing that keeps her going and keeps her being driven. But at the end of the day, that might not be the case, right? I don't know. There's more I could go into with that, but I'm probably just gonna leave that at it, because I don't want to go off and talk about that the whole time again, just for them to pull something else out on me that changes everything up. But once again, back to where we were talking about with the matchups and how that all kind of unfolded here. It allowed everything within the episode to feel so good, because we talked about before where Denkin wanted everybody to kind of work together and explore this dungeon together, and all just be there for each other, because it made the most sense. And even later on, when we're discussing who would be the perfect matchups for us to go up against FRIEREN, but also why it was so difficult to force these matchups of having somebody be themselves, because your own self would kind of know your own moves and habits and maneuvers and everything, and it would make things a lot difficult. So you would have to get somebody else to kind of go out of the way and do it. So do you want to expose the flaws and the things within you to allow that to be easier for somebody else to actually defeat you? But, like, I don't know, it's just so cool how all of that kind of comes full circle into this moment where we all have to decide, like, let's find our matchups of who each of us are going to perform the best against, and be able to have these ends and be able to allow you to see the flaws within a lot of the characters, but also see the strengths that come within everybody. And it builds everybody up to a certain point. of you feeling like you have a character who can be entirely strong and you never have to fear that will ever lose a fight or do anything. And there's plenty of other fantasy shows and things like that where your main character is clearly OP and you never have any worries about that. And here we are with FRIEREN, right? Somebody who's in that situation, and you almost throughout the entirety of this just assume she's been living for all these years. She clearly has all this knowledge. She's clearly extremely strong. Nobody's going to be able to go out of their way and defeat her. But then you propose this other teacher like Sense, and I just realized I've been calling series since the entire time, but you probably understood what I was getting at. Anyways, you have somebody like that who is built up to be this first class mage, who is somebody who is very, very special probably with what she's able to do, and has been somebody who's caused a lot of harm already, eliminating one person in the process and then being able to injure another, or actually probably eliminating two and then injuring another throughout the process of leading up to everybody kind of coming back together. And then even within this, we end up getting to see people like Richter and like Lawine, be able to see them all be able to be eliminated here through this one person, the strength that comes with them, and then having somebody like Yubel step in and actually just defeat them in a simple process, basically for her, not even be able to think twice about it and just do it in a basic instant, which was prolonged due to the fact that we got to see the backstory and the things of the reasons why we kind of were understanding that she was going to be able to actually do it, and provide a little bit more context to that to make a little bit more sense. But her basically doing it in an instant is just crazy, and it really allows you to see characters being strong versus characters also being weak in certain moments, and allowing you to almost have that ability of being uncertain what's going to happen in any given moment, what any sort of person is going to be capable of. And the difficulties that people who like to do like power scaling and so much other stuff would end up having, sitting around here and being able to figure out who's capable of what and who's actually going to be able to have the advantage and do this over somebody else. And it's so cool. What I really want to talk about is Yubel, of course. Anybody who's been following up to this point understands. Anybody who's also been watching probably feels the same way. And, you know, down horrendous for the girl. We understand that. And I love any moment that she's on screen, and any sort of interaction that we basically get with her is a treat for me. So being able to get such a large focus and being able to see her literally just be so badass the entire, you know, span of her being on screen this episode was so good. It made me so thrilled to be able to get some more screen time of her, and especially backstory, things that kind of go back into put a little bit more context into her as a person, and the things that they've explored before about her killing the proctor for the other mage, or the second class exam that she did and everything. And it makes things really fun too, because we go immediately introducing her as this evil killer who's killed a lot of people, that, like, we found a lot of these corpses and all these things, the people that were killed by a mage, that Craft ended up finding, and we built her up to be somebody that we're incredibly scared of. And then we build her up even more when we actually talk about a bunch of the candidates and people that are within this exam, and she's somebody who is brought up, and we explore the idea that she has killed somebody in one of her other exams and was expelled and all this, and like somebody who has first class certification. And that's before I think anybody's actually able to really even comprehend the strength and ability of somebody who has to become first class, before we actually get into moments like this and see a bunch of like the strength comparisons of everybody else that we're dealing with here. It really makes you scared for what this person's going to be. And then in the first exam, when you have her almost basically get shut down instantly by Werewolf, makes her a little like, what are we doing? Like, she doesn't seem to be as strong. It almost seems like maybe that was all kind of a lie. Maybe she isn't exactly that. Maybe she isn't what everybody else seems to think that she actually is, or she isn't as capable of that, or something's wrong there, right? And then being able to slowly build our ways into different fights with her and see different aspects of the way that she was able to defeat or go up against herself, and be able to coordinate and work with Land, understand and explore her abilities and the story behind some of those a little bit more too, and how she's able to kind of just like catch on through compassion or whatever with somebody else, and just understanding of them, into this point of being able to have something so excellent of us explore the idea that she has this ability where she isn't restricted in a similar sense to every other mage. She's somebody who truly is basically the person who would sit down and be like, I truly believe in myself and I'm going to act on that and show you that I'm acting on that, as opposed to I can do this and just say that, as opposed to like maybe they actually aren't capable of it, and maybe they don't actually believe in themselves, and maybe they do believe in themselves, but there's no like actual thing to like really back that up. She's literally all like, yeah, if I think I can do this, I can do it. Which is exactly what her ability kind of goes into. I can actually cut straight through anything that I believe I can cut through. If I do not believe I can cut through, I will not get through it. And it's such like it's like a dumbed down thing, if that makes sense. Like, it's just so simplistic of what she kind of views the capabilities of her own magic and the things that she's able to do. Of course, never wanting to really doubt herself, but it makes us understand why her fight in her situation with Werewolf makes so much more sense too. Was it that she didn't understand, or she didn't believe that she could break through barriers or do whatever when it came to fighting him, or was it simply the idea that she just didn't want to actually go out of her way and kill him? I mean, he talked about to her that she clearly didn't want to, and she had the ability to, even though she was kind of poking fun at him because he clearly didn't want to get rid of her when he had the opportunity to as well. So it just like shows so many different layers and sides to her, and the different abilities and ways that we can kind of go about things, which is really cool. Having somebody like Sense as well, who is taken out, what, 4 people now up to this point throughout this one single section in this exam, go instantly being taken down by Yuel, and immediately realizing that she was a awful matchup for her, is fantastic, because it, like I said, allows us to see the really strong and powerful people that we no longer have to worry about, or worry as much about, because there are plenty of people who will work in matchup advantages here, or have certain abilities and things that just work in comparison to somebody else, which makes me really excited to see who else we can kind of explore, and what else from the other people that we've kind of had involved here are capable of going forward. Really exciting, really exciting stuff. And it makes me so thrilled for what's to come. The direction of the episode is absolutely excellent. There's so much good like single shots with us getting FRIEREN like this. We get one later with our clone looking down and everything. That's fantastic. We get so many different frames like this. And just like the use of color as well. Nothing feels like it's muted or being suppressed in any sort of way. Everything flows extremely well together. The cameras and the movement of the characters and everything is extremely dynamic. It just like the lighting and all these different scenes is so good. It's just it's excellent. It was so well done. Mainly those types of scenes are really excellent in the FRIEREN fight, beginning and episode, but that makes sense because of the grand scale that fight was having in comparison to all the other ones that we were kind of going against. Also, this just, we need to put into perspective, I guess, I completely skipped over it, talking about everybody's just like this matchup based thing. You see how difficult it was for Fern and FRIEREN to work together and be able to take out the FRIEREN version, but then somebody else like Sense out there not being able to like really hold their own when it comes to somebody like Yuel. Like, that's kind of crazy to me. To believe you can instantly go through and do something like that, which I absolutely love. We all branch off different groups, what everybody thinks that they're capable of and going against, which I think is pretty cool. Things are going pretty well here. We're figuring out what's to come next, and then we get attacked last second and everybody starts bleeding out and unfortunately has to break bottles and do things because Denkin isn't quick enough, and of course Sense is here just completely messing everyone up. It was such a shocking scene almost like to see, and I think at this point I was stuck in the mindset of like, we're all working this out together. We all kind of have this, and there's nothing for us to really be concerned over at this point to really eliminate or remove anybody from the picture. And especially 2 people that I was not expecting in the slightest to not be involved here. So that makes it even better, like that we can remain so unpredictable in a sort of way, where even if we spend so much screen time with certain characters, which both of them we had up to this point, no longer needing them to actually be involved within this arc anymore, or certain aspects going forward within the story, and we can actually show so much attention to developing characters up to a certain point, but actually not have them as important anymore, I think is cool, and eliminate them, because it adds more of like a sense of being worried, I guess, for what's to come, or who can kind of get eliminated, or what can actually happen throughout these different exams, or happen at other points throughout the future, that we can build onto characters and make you kind of grow attached in some sort of way and really like the character to a point that we can still kind of do something like this to them, as opposed to just removing them and acting as if they were a background character the entire time, or actually just removing background characters the whole time who don't really get much screen time, which is like 99, I think, % of the people that ended up failing actually, I think every single person who failed the first exam that we had ended up being somebody who's just kind of in the background, who got like zero screen time in total and wasn't even involved up to this point. So I think that that was pretty cool. Yubel instantly being like so thrilled that she can kind of come out of here and take over and be able to defeat Sense is great. Also, just because of her confidence of knowing before the weakness and the things that she kind of wanted to attack and go after at some other point. So it makes plenty of sense. I love the fact that she's just looking at him like this and looking down on him, and I absolutely need her in my life. Here at this point, she starts displaying what she is capable of and the things that she kind of believes in, and her ability to kind of just cut through and go through everything. And instantly in this moment, we're aware of what ended up happening. We get some context and some backstory into what happened before, and her immediately slicing through Buddy. Completely brutal up to this point, but nobody else being able to comprehend the simplistic mindset almost of, I believe I can do something like this. I don't view his magic as like a barrier or his cloak or any of that stuff. All I see when I look at this person is somebody or something in its a rawest form of, this is a piece of cloth or a piece of clothing, and I can easily just kind of cut through that. I see this as a person. I know people are capable of bleeding. I know what that type of stuff is like. I can cut right through this, no problem, especially through firsthand experience and things that she kind of explores and brings up to us at some other point. And we even find that she had zero intention of actually doing that. All she was trying to do is just go through and prove that she can make a move, and it ended up happening. We explore here with her sister, who, my God, I hope we get to meet at some point, being able to show her things, sewing, and being able to show her things with scissors and stuff. And of course, the way that that makes her feel, something about crazy chicks, especially crazy chicks with green hair and the type of eyes that she has, holding scissors does some things. Anyways, her excitement here and wanting to kind of cut her hair, and also just like the framing here of like showing her so much higher up in comparison, I think is so cool. And then we get to talk here about cutting the hair and the way that she kind of feels, and the way that she would kind of like that to be gone. And in this moment, we're able to completely cut through. But at the end of the day, that's almost like her life force in a way, right? That's her power, that's her ability, that's the thing that keeps her going, forcing her to almost kind of have to hold on and actually keep this thing. Which is pretty dope, but easily goes through a completely badass moment, and she stole the show for the entire like middle section of the episode, in my opinion. And then everybody at this point learning that all the replicas are respawning at some point, and that's not a good thing, right? We're gonna have to be able to take these things out, or we're just gonna have to hold off until FRIEREN's able to kind of come through and do her thing, which luckily by this back end we're able to see her end up getting through when we get such a this scene's so cool, being able to have first person POV basically of FRIEREN talking to Fern. Just the way that the camera moves and the way that Fern's expressions and everything are created throughout the entire interaction here is so like unique to me. I feel like not often enough do you hold perspectives like this. Not often enough do we do that. It felt like it took a while for us to kind of get through. I mean, and it does. It's like 30 seconds of us going through this, when typically that you get like a quick, like, here, let me like run through a hallway or something, because scenes like that aren't maybe as easy to animate or something. I don't know. Or maybe just like as interesting in a way, but just the creative choice of kind of doing something like this is so cool. And once again, just the use of color in a lot of these different scenes is so cool. Just filling the screen with so much going on and adding so much life and personality to it. And it allows for typical shows that I've seen, at least, and maybe I haven't seen enough, or the ones that everybody else loves in any sort of way. But a lot of times when we have magical fantasy type shows that have similar powers and things like this, we end up seeing almost like the same exact kind of abilities. Everything gets kind of animated the same way. You get a lot of the same sound effects. You get a lot of the same, you kind of grow to understand what these things are going to look like and what these sequences are going to kind of evolve into and end up becoming at some point. So when you get something like this that feels entirely different, like it just, something about it just feels like such a fresh like breath of air here that I just think is like so special. And it makes this entire sequence and this entire fight just to be so good. We get this shot of FRIEREN, which is fantastic, which I want to make the thumbnail so bad, but Yubel's so badass and I love her so much that I feel like I need it to be her, but I don't know. At this moment, we blow both arms basically off of FRIEREN, and in an instant, she's able to look and completely just knock Fern back and take her aback, which we don't really get much explanation into what this is or what happened here, besides for the fact that FRIEREN says that she hadn't have had to use that in probably about 80 years now, making us kind of believe what it's been, 28, 29 years since Himmel's passed, 50 years of the adventure, or since the back end of the adventure. It would lead us to about 80 years since that she last used that. We'd assume in her battle against the Demon King, which ended up coming. And I assume it could be like a last resort type of thing for her. She needs to like kind of clear space, or like she needs to get somebody out of her way like really quick, and it's like takes up a lot of energy and everything for her to do. And what exactly she did, I don't think it's like as simple as she just like has an ability to just like send a bunch of force towards somebody, but I guess that could be the case, like sucking out everything like from around you or within the direction of somebody and forcing all of that onto somebody else. And it's like a form of using like a wind in a way, but like the force of it is so strong that it basically just blows everything back that's in front of you. And it's like a form of self-destruction. It kind of feels like a last resort. I have to like do this, is the only thing that I kind of have left. That's almost what it feels like. But in this moment, we're able to talk about how we can create an opening by creating an opening. Frieren creates the opening within herself that allows the other version of herself to go after her and attack her, causing Fern to be able to do things, which then causes an opening to be created through her own self onto Fern, which then creates an opening from our actual Frieren onto the replica and being able to attack her, which is excellent how well coordinated all this was, and being able to see Fern and Frieren actually take so much damage and be hurt. Well, I say so much, it's not too much, but it's the most that we've really seen out of, especially Frieren up to this point, is really, really cool. We end up finding out that this actually works when we destroy this, and all the replicas disappear. This girl had a tough one here of Fern sending out so many different attacks. Which is pretty cool. I do wish we got more interaction with the Fern replica, but in the Denkin one, but it is what it is. Not the biggest issue here. We got a pile of gold and treasures, of course, for conquering through the back end of this, which I'd assume the organization itself will get to, or the association will end up taking control of, and they'll be the ones who get it, not the test takers themselves. And of course, in this moment, when everybody looks for our special like a people of the hour, right? For being able to come through and defeat this and save everybody at the end of the day, the big golden mimic's in the way, and of course just swallowing Frieren whole. What better way to end it, right? I also love like, it's gold, bro, like it's gotta happen. Also, there's more here, like there's many more, and they're completely open, so I'm assuming she's gone through all of these up to this point. She keeps testing them and seeing and assuming that there's going to be something within them, which I think is really, really cool. And we end things there. What's to come next? Who knows? It's all to be seen. I'd assume we got 2 episodes left. There can't be that much, right? So I'd assume we're not going to just end random cliffhanger in the middle of one. We could develop through 2 and just end at the end of the exam and be like, all right, we're going here now. But the pacing of the show is so incredible, to the point that it feels like it'll be a very short, like wrap up conclusion to the exam. It might not be something too intense or too difficult for whatever it is that they have to end up doing. And I guess that it'll probably be either all next episode or all next episode in the first half or beginning part of the final, which will allow plenty of time for us to kind of settle down, reunite with Stark, and set up the direction of like where we're possibly going to be heading forward, which would ultimately lead to a second season probably coming at some other point. And I think that would make plenty of sense here. And I feel like that happens a lot where like the final actual like portion, the final test within a lot of different exams and things that I've seen within shows just like don't feel to be like the most like grand or like climax version. It seems like you get those at the beginning and then it kind of winds down and it just becomes something a bit more like, I don't know, a bit more easy, a bit more like calming in a way. Like maybe it's just like a simple test of something like individual power in some sort of way, or like some sort of like intelligence thing, or like some sort of just like, I don't know, plenty of other things that I think that they can kind of go into. But I'm excited to see, I guess, what this final one will end up taking on and how we're going to ultimately wrap up what's coming within this season. This was a masterful episode, absolutely fantastic. While not having really any emotional highs that the other like masterful episodes that we've had all the way throughout the season have, it creates one of the 2 most like visually beautiful episodes for us to ultimately get, that was just jam-packed with so much stuff, and I'm so thrilled to have been able to watch it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it all, like and subscribe to me, not to me, feel free to check out their videos and channel. Comments with us with our series. I will be back for the 27th episode next Friday. You guys have a good one. Peace.